Masculinity, a topic that I thought was incredibly simple, something that I thought that every man inherently understood and knew until I got on YouTube, until I started talking to men in real life. I started actually having conversations with people, and I realized that most men actually are not masculine, and they don't know how to build their masculinity. They don't know what the foundations of building a masculinity is. I'll give you a quick story. I was at a point where when I was in college, when I was in high school, I struggled a lot with this concept of masculinity. I didn't know what it was. It's being branded now on the internet, but I didn't actually know the fundamentals of what that was. I always felt shallow and empty inside. I always felt like I was never in control of my life. I always felt like I had to say yes to everybody. I always felt like I had to be the guy who was making everybody happy. But I was empty inside. I was making everybody else happy, but I was upset inside. That's how you probably feel right now. That's how a lot of men in this world are feeling right now. You're suppressed. You cannot express yourself in the way that you would like. That is the core masculinity principle. I use this word because this is what you understand, but inherently it's for you to be the best version of yourself as a man. That is what masculinity is. And to be able to do that, there's one thing that you need, and there's one thing that most men are missing in this day and age, and that's freedom. Time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom. Those are the three things that are keeping you from becoming the best version of yourself as a man, which means that your masculinity is at its peak. A lot of men don't actually experience this until they're in their late 40s and 50s. And even then, they still don't experience this. But the internet has made it possible for you to experience that thing. It's made it possible for you to have location freedom, for you to have time freedom, for you to have financial freedom in many different vehicles. Obviously, with the personal branding, that's the core vehicle I believe all men should develop, a masculine personal brand. We need more of that now than ever before. See, I'm not just pushing this as just another business model. This is what I've figured out, that most people who are successful in their own businesses, in their own lanes, in their own life, have maximized. You look at the Tony Robbins, you look at the Dean Graziosi, you look at Tai Lopez, all of these guys, they've built their empires off of their personal brand. It might not have been YouTube, but right now, YouTube is the best platform to do that because it's wide open. It's wide open. But you need to have the freedom. You need to do this because you want to have the freedom of life. This is what's going to give you that vehicle of freedom where you can get up and move wherever you want. This is what's allowed for me to be able to move and get up for wherever I want. See, too many guys right now, they're literally stuck. They don't know what to do. You're probably stuck. You don't know where to go. You don't know how to make your next dollar. You're focused on that 9-to-5 job, but you're afraid of saying something on the internet because you could get fired, because you don't have your own business. And again, having your own business may not be what you need to do, but there are other business models that you can leverage your personal brand online to be able to actually develop, to then, grow, to make more money. You can be a high ticket closer. Right? I have my homie Tim, man. He's a great dude. He teaches guys how to dominate high ticket sales online to give them freedom. He lives in Budapest. Shout out to him. You can look him up, Tim Ray on YouTube. He's a great guy. But again, it's building this level of freedom that most men need, that most men don't have. And you don't have it because you're afraid. You're afraid to take risks. You're afraid to actually go out and do what you truly want to do. You want to go make music, go make music. Why do you care what the next person has to say? Why do you care if the next person says that, oh, that's a bad business, music is saturated, or YouTube, oh, YouTube is saturated, don't do YouTube. That's not true. All of these things are not true, but you're letting your limiting beliefs keep you from actually achieving the goals that you want to achieve as a man, which is the worst thing you can do. It's literally neutering yourself in real time. You have to break out of that mindset. Right now, you're stuck, you're shackled because you do not have the foresight to see all of the opportunities in front of you, all of the opportunities online, all of the opportunities that have not presented themselves until now. And this is the best time to do it because, again, economic times are now downtrending. There are a lot of financial issues going on. People are getting laid off left and right. I've had friends that are literally getting laid off left and right from top jobs because of the economic situation right now. And they're trying to scramble and figure out what to do. As a man, it is very imperative for you to then go out and build yourself in the digital world. This is the answer to you getting the freedom that you want. This is literally the answer. I can't help everybody, but I can help you that's watching this right now because you innately understand that this is your time to get your freedom back. This is your time to then be able to build the business that you want so that you don't have to answer to a boss. You don't have to worry about what you have to say. Most men are neutered to the point where they can't even say what they want to say to their own significant other, their own wife. They literally have to suppress their own thoughts. They have to suppress their own opinions because they don't have the means to be able to branch out, to be able to express themselves. They don't have the respect of their significant other because they're not making enough money to even be respected. They're not standing up for themselves to even be respected. They don't have boundaries to even be respected. See, everything comes down to freedom. When you have freedom, you will be able to set more boundaries. That's the craziest part about freedom. Freedom allows for you to set your own boundaries. People don't set your boundaries for you. See, if you're not setting your boundaries, other people are setting your boundaries for you. If you're not making your own money, somebody else is making your own money. And as a man, that is the most emasculating thing that could ever happen to you. I might be saying this out of bias, but it's a bias that's been confirmed through my personal life and through the personal lives of other people who are going through it now, who are coming to me now for help, who are asking me, Martel, how do I build my personal brand? How do I do what you're doing? How do I do what all these other guys are doing online? I see what's going on. I see the trends. I see a lot of these guys getting free, being able to go wherever they want, buy whatever they want. It's not about money. It's about freedom. Masculinity is about freedom. It's not about being the richest guy in the room. It's about having the freedom to do what you want in life without being restricted from finances, from time, from spending at a job, from having to be stuck in one location. Those are the things that you need to focus on. Freedom in those aspects. That is what a man is missing today to keep him, that is keeping him from becoming the best version of himself. You might be saying, Martel, how do I even do this? How do I even make more money? See, that's your first problem. Your first problem is instead of actually figuring it out, you're pondering a lot. See, the masculine man who is free does not ponder. He does what he has to do and he sees if it works. Life is a constant state of experimentation. You have to experiment with everything that you're doing. You have to go take the risk with everything that you do. I didn't understand online business until I hired someone when I didn't even have money to figure out how to do it. And it was simple. He taught me how to do it and now I understand it and now I'm free. This is what you need to do. If this isn't a wake-up call, I don't know what will be. Because at the end of the day, we have little to no time to make this work. There is a small window of opportunity that we have right now where the internet is free, it's open. There's not too much censorship just yet. There's not too much economic strain just yet. There may be, but you don't feel it just yet. This is the time where you act. This is the time where you build a brand. This is the time where people know you to the point where when you travel to a different country, when you travel to a different continent, you're known, you have access. That's another thing with masculinity, having access and having a network. As you put yourself out there on social media, people will start to then understand who you are, trust you a lot more, and provide opportunities for you where you couldn't find opportunities. They'll provide access to you to be in different rooms outside of where you're currently at because they know you globally. That is why I always say build a personal brand. I wish that I was just saying this and it didn't mean much, but this genuinely means a lot to me to see the guys that I'm working with right now in my mentorship group to help them build their personal brands. They're starting to see the vision. They're starting to see that this was the best decision they could have made for themselves. They're starting to feel free because they're expressing themselves. They understand how to build a business on the back end so that they can sustain themselves financially. They know that they can literally go anywhere, put up a camera, it could be your phone, and literally just make a video and speak to thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people all at once. This is a dawn of a new age for the man himself. It's not about riding the corporate ladder. It's not about the pensions. It's not about all of these safety nets that you have. The internet's the wild, wild west. YouTube is the wild, wild west right now. And the masculine man will dominate the wild, wild west. The masculine man will understand how that works and dominate and compete and win. That is what you need to do. This is the wake-up call. I'll keep making these videos to wake you up, but at the end of the day, it's only going to be your call. It's going to be your decision. Again, if you need help with that, shameless plug, link is in the description. You can tap in with me for one-on-one coaching, apply. And only if you're serious, only if you truly want to change your life, only if you truly want to win on YouTube. You've seen me do it. You're seeing me do it with other people. Case studies are being developed. People are starting to break through. People are starting to see beyond what they've seen before. It's working. If it didn't work, I wouldn't promote this, ever. But it is. And I'm also promoting freedom because I know freedom has changed my life. It's changed the relationship I have with other people. It's changed the way that I think about myself, the way that I think about my life and opportunities. And it can change your life as well if you only take this small window of opportunity and dominate. That is the core of masculinity, freedom and domination. And not in a toxic way, because there's no such thing as toxic masculinity, but there is such thing as immaturity. Immaturity comes from not understanding anything around you. Immaturity comes from being behind the times. You may be immature from the perspective of the digital world. I want to help you mature in that way. You may be immature in the way that you communicate with other people. I want to help you actually be mature in the way that you speak to other people. This is the answer. This is what you need to do. I can't keep saying this enough again. But if you found this valuable, like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, but you need freedom. I'm going to say this again. You need freedom as a man to then dominate the world, to then dominate yourself, to then dominate everything that's around you, your environment. This is the answer. I appreciate y'all. I hope you took this and you understood this. Even if it's not personal branding, you need to find something that will give you a level of freedom. Find work that will give you a level of freedom, whether it is remote high ticket sales, whether it's trading, whether it is building an actual business online like I'm doing, building your personal brand. You can do anything to then give yourself the freedom, but don't be shackled by what society has right now, the antiquated models of society, where they're actually keeping you neutered so that they can control you. This isn't a conspiracy theory. You're being controlled. You're being controlled by the institutions that are out there. You're being controlled by maybe even your significant other, because literally you can't do anything else. You have no other option. You have to stay where you are. You need to break out of that. This is the answer. All right? So I appreciate y'all, and tap in for the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Again, I probably said that before, but I want to say it again. Share with a friend who feels like they're shackled, who feels like they can't break out of the current state that they're in, the current cycle that they're in financially, emotionally, physically, whatever that looks like. You need freedom. And you also, P.S., you need freedom with your body. You need freedom with your health. That means going to train. You need the freedom to know that you are healthy enough to endure life's hardest things, life's hardest tribulations that will come your way. That is what's going to make you the most masculine version of yourself. I promise you. I'm gonna catch you on the next video.